Hi there, thanks for joining. You can make beautiful shadow colors by using complementary colors. Complementary colors are colors that lie opposite of each other on the color wheel. And when you mix complementary colors, they desaturate each other. And most of the times, they darken each other as well. Most of the times. If I look at an orange color, like in this umbrella for instance, I'll take some red. I first make my orange color, trying to match that color as good as I can. It's reasonably close. On the other side of the umbrella you see shadow colors. So let's take a look on the color wheel to have an indication of what kind of color would be opposite of the orange color. So I have orange, and on the opposite side we have a relatively neutral blue, maybe a blue that leans a little bit already towards red. So I could try to use ultramarine blue. That is a blue with a bias towards red, as we know. So let's give it a try, and I'll mix it here slightly through this part, and then you see the color gets darker, but it also gets a little bit greenish in this case, you see, but that's no problem. Just let us have a look. So when I look here, you see that my color is way too green, so the amount of yellow is too high in this shadow mixture, so to speak. So I just add a little bit more of red, like this. Then I compare again. It's also a little bit too dark, but I'll add some more of my mixture, like this. I had put in a little bit too much of the blue, and sometimes it's just a matter of trying. Now we're getting really close. Still lacks a little bit of red. So now we're very close for this color here, you see. So the thing is, the complementary color is a base to mix the shadow color, but then as well you have to look for the balance. Is it more towards red? Is it more towards yellow? I want to show you what would have happened if I had used black. Let's add some black and see what happens. You see, you have to be very careful not to put in too much black to start with, but then you immediately see it gets a little bit brown. Here again we need to adjust it. You see, with black I can get there as well, so I never say you cannot or may not use black, but the thing is you can get there in other ways as well, as you saw. And besides, there's a completely other thing. Because my thought process this time was, okay, I have orange as a base color and I'm gonna adjust that orange to make a shadow color. But in reality, of course, you don't work this way. At least I don't. When I want to mix the orange for the local color like this, I just mix an orange and compare it if it is right. And then I go to the shadow color and I'm gonna think, what color is that? And it is a little bit brown, so maybe why not, if I have burnt sienna, for example. Burnt sienna is a color that is already very close to that color, so then I could use burnt sienna and adjust it a little bit to get to this color as well. But for the theory, it is good to understand that colors work this way. So let's take another example. Let's make this vivid purple here. I have a little bit of magenta. That's already very close, you see. It's a little bit too dark. Oh, now I have added a little bit too much white, you see. I'll adjust it. Yep, like this is good, you see. I want to adjust this color to a shadow color. So what is the color that lies opposite of it on the color wheel? And it's kind of magenta color, so we could use green. Green, I just take some phthalo blue and a little bit of yellow. And then I'm gonna just try, and maybe I'm off, but I can always change the balance of the color. But you see, I mix this green through this mixture, and it gets a little bit a bluish, darker color. So my color leans a little bit more to the blue, you see. So if I add just a little bit more of the magenta again, maybe I'm getting very close already. Yeah, you see, so I'm very close to this shadow color over here. And of course, in the shadow area, you have all kinds of different colors, but yeah, you can approach it the same way. You can make this mixture a little bit lighter for some parts, like this. That is good for these parts. So it's always a matter of balance. Well, let's take a green color, for example. I'm looking for a nice bit of local color, well, like this a little bit. So I already had a little bit of green here, so I'll just make some more. Well, it's good enough for here. I'll keep this color. This is the green color that I want to have a shadow color of. So on the opposite side of green we have magenta. We already had that last example because of the magenta umbrella, where we used green to make a shadow color for magenta. And now we're going to do it the other way around. But again, it's all a balance, a matter of balance. So I just take a little bit of magenta and I'm gonna adjust this color. And maybe I took a little bit too much magenta. Always have to be very careful. Or maybe I didn't take too much. So let's add it. See? And let's compare. Where were we? I've completely forgotten. We were like here, for example, you see? So for some instances here it's good. For some instances it lacks a little bit of the blue. Then I add a little bit more of the phthalo blue in this case. And then compare again. That's very good. So I just wanted to show you this particular method, but as said before, you can get to the same results in various other ways by adding black, by adding other dark colors and that kind of stuff. Thanks for watching. See you next time.